Jai Jagannath, friends. This is Vasudev Panda. Welcome to Master of English. On examination, plus two second year English as per the commitment. गतकाली हम पढ़ी थिले हमर जो सेम अप्लाई थिला आज गोटे प्रोज देखिबा आ तार सब प्रोबेबल क्वेश्चन आसंता बोर्ड परीक्षा पे मैक्सिमम प्रोबेबल क्वेश्चन मैक्सिमम तो नहीं ऑल प्रोबेबल क्वेश्चन आलोचना करिबा ए सेशन रे तो फटाफट जो मन जॉइन करना जॉइन करनवा जदि फ्रेंड्स माने अछंती शेयर कर दवा दाना सहित पे ओके so let us start प्रथम पैसेज अछि हम बगरे I had scarcely passed my 12th ward day when I entered the inhospitable regions of the examination सेठु आरंभ करिके आमेनले treatment had only one result I didn't do well in examination तो ये होची पैसेज प्रथम पैराग्राफ जो हमर बही अछि बहिरो जो प्रथम पैराग्राफ ता अछि बिले से पार्टटा नै आइछि एठी प्रश्न आछि प्रथम प्रश्नटी कोन what was the writer's impression on the exams राइटर करो इंप्रेशन मतामत कौन थिला परीक्षा उपरे नहीं बिले सो द राइटर सपोज दैट द रीजन्स ऑफ एग्जामिनेशन वर इनहॉस्पिटेबल फॉर हिम बहिरु उत्तर केमति लिखिबा मु सब बेले कहूची तुम मानकु जे आमे पैसेज भितरु उत्तर केमति लिखिबा सेटा होची इंपोर्टेंट कथा अला मोर इंग्लिश आसुनी मु पैसेज देखि कि लिखिबी मु बनै कि लिखि परिबि नै तो मु केमति लिखिबी दैट आई विल पास विथ ए गुड मार्क नहीं बिले सो द राइटर्स suppose that according to the writer, the regions of examination were inhospitable for him, and they were a great trial to him. दुईटा शब्द inhospitable और trial ये दुईटा शब्द बहिरो अछि आमे देखि दिबा समस्ते क्वेश्चन नंबर 2 दुई नंबर प्रश्न होछि बिले which subjects were the writer's favorite writers का favorite subject कोन the favorite subjects of the writer were history poetry and writing essays याको आउ अलगा हिसाब लिखिबा history, poetry, and essay writing were the favorite subject of Winston Churchill. And they likhi pariba. Okay. Next question likhiba. Which subjects were the favorite of the examiner? Parikhyaka manankara ko subject you know kon thila favorite thila ko subject re se mane exam re question tayari kariba pai babu thile. Simple Latin and mathematics. Latin and mathematics were the favorite subject. Yes, Kanha, Latin and mathematics were the favorite subject of the examiner. The examiner. Okay, Latin and mathematics. So next, देखिबा. Next होची why did not the writer do well in the exam? परीक्षा रे writer भलो कले नाही काहे की. What was the reason behind his not doing well in examination? So कौन आप पहले he wanted to show expose his knowledge but the examiners wanted to expose his ignorance that's why he did not do well in the examination this is the reason करथिला से चाहुथिले तांकर ज्ञान प्रदर्शन करिवा पई बट एग्जामिनर माने चाहुथिले तांकर माने इग्नोरेंस पार्ट को अनवेल करिवा पई that's why he did not do well in the examination next जीवा पहले next होची कोन पहले next question. When did the writer enter examination regions? How long did he stay there? केबे से enter कले से examination भीतर को आउ केते दिन पई सेठी से रहिले the writers entered the regions of examination at the age of 12 तांको जते बेला 12 वर्ष होतला सेते बेला से enter करथिले नै बोले and for the next 7 years he was to stay there for the next 7 years he was to stay there ये थिला प्रथम पैसेज प्रथम पैराग्राफ रिगार्डिंग किसी क्वेश्चन तापर जब हमें द्वितीय पैराग्राफ जो देखिबा इन consequence of his decision I was in due course placed in the third or lowest division of the fourth और तापर से I frequently heard the irreverent comment why his last of all ये जो फर्स्ट पैराग्राफ देखिले तापर आउ किसी पैराग्राफ जो हमर फर्स्ट यूनिट रो सेकंड आउ गोटे द्वितीय भाग तो यार प्रथम प्रश्न होछ हैं प्रथम प्रश्न होची कोन पिले why does the writer say I gain no more advantage from the alphabet than from the word sphere of writer so question कोन why does the writer say I gain no more advantage from the alphabet than from the word sphere of writer मु जो हमर इंग्रजी वर्णमाला रो एतके सब माने अक्षर भितरु कोनोसी माने बेनिफिट पाइली नै यार अर्थ कोन अकॉर्डिंग टू हिम एग्जैक्टली बुझेला तो कहबो in arrow school the names of the students are placed in alphabetical order and as his name star names Spencer Churchill, his real name is Spencer Churchill, and his name start with an S, he gained no more advantage, and he was placed uh, in the third of the fourth form, and almost at the bottom part of the school, bottom part of the class. So and he gained no more advantage from the white sphere of later. So yaku jodi ame tikke sajai daba kon haba, in Harrow school the names of the students are placed in alphabetical order, thus Winston Churchill name went to the last. He said, I gained no more advantage from the alphabet than from the white sphere of later. Paravarti prashna, how did he become the last boy in the class? How did he become the last boy in the class? Ready ro sessa pila kemti hele, how did he become? Nahi, ଏଠି ପ୍ରଶ୍ନ ଉଠୁଛି. So Winston Churchill was in fact two from the bottom. In fact, ଯଦି ସତରେ କହିବା ସେ two from the bottom ଥିଲେ, and one who remains under him who was absent from the school or took TC after some days due to illness or some other cause, and that's why he became the last boy of the school. So this is the answer. ପରବର୍ତ୍ତୀ ପ୍ରଶ୍ନ ଆମେ ଯଦି ଦେଖିବା, ପରବର୍ତ୍ତୀ ପ୍ରଶ୍ନ ହେଉଛି ବୋଲେ what is the custom of roll call at Harrow? Harrow roll call custom kono thila? The boys stand in cluster, and they file past a master while their names are being called. Getting me? While their names are being called. ଯେତେବେଳେ ତାଙ୍କ ନାମ ସବୁ ନିଆ ହଉଥିଲା ସେମାନେ ଜଣଙ୍କର ମାନେ ଜଣେ ଟିଚର ସାମ୍ନାରେ ପାସ୍ କରିକି ଯାଉଥିଲେ, and they were responding yes. This is the what roll call system of Harrow. So next question thila, what was the custom of roll call at Eton ro roll call system kono thila? Eton ro roll call system kono thila? Roll call system Eton re kono thila bele? Eton re. So the boys stand in a cluster and what, pick up their hats when their names are called. This is the roll call system of Eton. Eton re ei bhaliya kortile. Kono hutila dhadi re thiya hutile, au semane they are taking their caps off from their head when their names are called. ଯେତେବେଳେ ତାଙ୍କର ନାଁ ପଡୁଥିଲା ସେମାନେ କଣ କରୁଥିଲେ, ଟୋପିକି ଉଠେଇ ଦଉଥିଲେ. ଏଇଟା ଥିଲା Eton ର ସିଷ୍ଟମ. What is the irreverent comment? What was the irreverent comment? ଅସମ୍ମାନଜନକ ମନ୍ତବ୍ୟ ସେ କଣ ଶୁଣୁଥିଲେ ପିଲେ? ସେ କଣ ଶୁଣୁଥିଲେ exactly? So ସେଟା କଣ ଥିଲା? So as his name was at last, and as he was the son of a famous person, Lord Randolph Churchill, male and female, so visitor of both sexes are waiting at the school step to see him. And when his name was called at last, he was hearing that irreverent comment. Why is last of the comment? Why is last of all? ये थिला द्वितीय फर्स्ट यूनिट रो द्वितीय पार्ट रो आउ पांचटा प्रश्न. वर्तमान जीवा आउ गोटे पैसेज पाकू. पैसेज होची, I continued in this unpretentious situation, and it was a kind of drill. We did it almost daily. Mr. Somerville के विषय जो पार्ट टा अछि यूनिट 2 रो फर्स्ट पैराग्राफ से थ्रू किसी प्रश्न आलोचना करिबा. So प्रथम प्रश्न होची, what was the unpretentious situation for the writer? राइटर का पाई अनप्रिटेंशियस सिचुएशन जोड़ा अनफेवरेबल सिचुएशन कोटा थिला, काहा को सी अनप्रिटेंशियस सिचुएशन बोली कहि चंते, को सिचुएशन टा को अनप्रिटेंशियस सिचुएशन बोली से कहि चंते पिले. तो एटी उत्तर कह हबो, टू रिमेन इन द लोएस्ट फॉर्म ऑफ द अनप्रिटेंशियस सिचुएशन फॉर द राइटर. बहुत बढ़िया. टू रिमेन इन द लोएस्ट फॉर्म, सबा तळरे जो रहिबाटा, टू रिमेन इन द लोएस्ट फॉर्म ऑफ द अनप्रिटेंशियस सिचुएशन फॉर द writer. Clear? Next, तळ सभा तळ रहिबाटा होची तांका पई गोटे अनप्रिटेंशियस सिचुएशन, अनफेवरेबल सिचुएशन से कहि छथि. परवर्ती प्रश्न, where did the clever students go? Where did the clever students go? Clever एठी जो क्वेश्चन रहिला एठी कोआ जाईची माने क्लेवर पिला माने जो चालक पिला माने थिले सेमान को कोन पढाउतला, सेमान को क्लास को श्रेणी को जाउथिले. एटा होची प्रश्नर वैल्यूटा. बुझेला? तो उत्तर कह हबो, द क्लेवर स्टूडेंट्स वेंट इनटू लर्न लैटिन एंड ग्रीक. दे वेंट इनटू लर्न लैटिन एंड ग्रीक. सिंपल. परवर्ती प्रश्न देखिबा, हु वाज मिस्टर समरवेल? व्हाट द राइटर्स इंप्रेशन ऑन हिम? हु वाज मिस्टर समरवेल? मिस्टर समरवेल किए थिले एवं राइटर का इंप्रेशन तांको ऊपर तांकर इंप्रेशन कोन थिला? बुझेला. So Mr. Somerville was the English teacher of Harrow. Mr. Somerville किए थे पहले? He was the English teacher of Harrow. Yes or no? And according to the writer, he was one of the best teacher of English. One of the best teacher of English, and he knew how to teach the dumb students mere writing English. माने ordinary English शिखेइबाटा तांको बेस्ट किए नथिले according to the writer. तापर आमे जिबा परवर्ती प्रश्न. What is the system of teaching of Somerville? Somerville उनकर system of teaching कोन थिला? को भलिया से पढौथिले बेले? How he was teaching. So Mr. Somerville, according to the writer, was an exceptional English teacher, and he was teaching English as no one has ever done it. He was taking a fairly long sentence, and he was just bracketing all the sentence with black, blue, red, green ink. As subject, verb, conjunctive, disjunctive, relative clause, etc., etc. Every portion of that sentence has its own bracket and own color. And this was a kind of drill the students were almost doing daily, according to the writer. Nine. Paravarti Parjya. Says a question, each had its color and its bracket. Explain karo. Each had its color and its bracket. Yaro artha kon pile? Yaro artha kon? So Mr. Somerville divide a sentence into subject, verb, object, conjunctive, disjunctive, etc., etc. Each had its color and its bracket. So he said so. ସେଇଥିପାଇଁ ଏ ଜିନିଷଟା କୁହାଯାଇଛି. ତ ଇଏ ଥିଲା 5ଟି ପ୍ରଶ୍ନ ଏବଂ ତାର ଉତ୍ତର ଦ୍ୱିତୀୟ ୟୁନିଟ୍ରୁ. ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ ଯିବା ଆମେ ଟିକେ ଆଗକୁ ଥର୍ଡ ୟୁନିଟ୍ ପାଖକୁ. ଯଦି ଆମେ ଯାଉଛେ ଦେଖିବା, I first went to Harrow in the summer term. The school possessed the biggest swimming bath and into the part of the school. Hauled me into the deepest part of the school. जो रहिला माने ଥର୍ଡ ୟୁନିଟ୍ର जो फर्स्ट दुईटा पैराग्राफ ଅଛି. ବୁଝିଲେ ବେला? तो एठी कौन अछि क्वेश्चन जीवा, क्वेश्चन आंसर देखिबा. हाउ डिड द बॉय एंजॉय देयर टाइम एट द स्विमिंग बाथ? स्विमिंग बाथ रे पिला माने तांकर समय को किभली एंजॉय करूथिले बेले. The children gathered in the swimming bath and used to repair at a time for hours, bask between their dips in eating enormous buns at the hot asphalt margin. बहिरू सीधा उतार के मुझे बुझेला. एट द हॉट asphalt margin. सीधा सीधा मु कौन कहूँ पैसेज भितर लेखिकी केमती आमे फुल मार्क पाइबा से जिनस एठी मु मनुरु लेखि जानो नै. हां इंग्लिश टाकू इजी करिवार दरकार अछि पिले ना कि हार्ड करिवार अछि. बहुत टीचर कहंती नै मनुरु लेखिबा नै. मनुरु न लेखिकी भी वन पार्ट ऑफ द क्वेश्चन, वन पार्ट फ्रॉम द पैसेज लेखिकी केमती फुल मार्क पाइबा सेटा होज मोर टॉपिक. पिला माने केमती भलो मार्क पाइबे सेटा दैट इज माय मोटिव. मु केबे कहि नै कि तमे कोळी बंजी भलिया अक्षर लेख, माछा बंजी भलिया अक्षर लेख, नहले तमरो मार्क मिले बिल्कुल न. सो your writing must be recognizable. चिन्ह होवार आवश्यकता अछि, ता छोडा आ किछि आवश्यक नै मिले. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन देखिबा. व्हाट काइंड ऑफ प्रैंक्स डिड दे एंजॉय देयर बाथ? से जो स्विमिंग पूल पाकरे से माने को सब प्रैंक्स जोक सब कोन कोन चाली थिला पिले हैं. So the children were playing a kind of jokes to fool someone. It may be enemy or friends. To the pool. तो से माने कोन करथिले का को सेटा एनिमी ऑफ फ्रेंड. तो याकु जदि हम बॉय हिसाब ले, the children gathered at the swimming bath, play jokes, pushing each other into water. They come stealthily behind and push the naked friends into water. राधे कृष्ण, राधे कृष्ण. परवर्ती प्रश्न देखिया. परवर्ती प्रश्न होची what did the writer do to the boy standing in a meditative posture? राइटर कोन कले से जो पिलाटा ध्यान मुद्रा रे ठिया हितला सेठी ताकू राइटर कोन करे? What did he do exactly? So the writer came stealthily behind that boy and pushed him into the towel and pushed him into the pool, holding his towel out of humanity that it could not get wet. Yes or no? तो से कोन कले पछपट चोर मान गबळा छपी छपी आसी के गोटे हाथ रे हाथ टावल को धरिले, गोटे हाथ रे तक पेली देले, जा पर हाथ रे टावल डा रहिला आ से पानी भितरे पड़िला. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन देखिबा. सो व्हाट आर द रिएक्शन ऑफ द बॉय? पिला रिएक्शन कोन पिला? व्हाट वर द रिएक्शन ऑफ द बॉय? So exactly the boy fell into water, came out angrily. नहीं, fell into water, came out angrily and overtook him, seized him in ferocious grief and hauled him into the deepest part of the pool. Into the deepest part of the pool. कौन कला माने राग है कि तरतर है कि उठिला यांको गोड़ेइला धरिला टाणी टाणी नहीं घिरे कौन कला deepest part गभीर जगह जो उठी गभीर पानी जो उठिला सेठी की नहीं गला. शेष प्रश्न, what tempted the writer to flee fun with the boy? ये कहीं की सेई पिला को ही माने टारगेट कले, सेई पिलाटा को ही कहीं की कौन पिले सेई पिलाटा को ही कहीं की ये बाबू टारगेट करके नहीं गिरी पेलिले बिकॉज द राइटर कुड नॉट सी द फेस ऑफ द बॉय. प्रथम जिंस होउछि से पछपटु ताको देखिले आगपटु देखिले नाही. दुई, एंड ही वाज इन अ मेडिटेरी, ही वाज अ बिग ही वाज एज बिग एज हिमसेल्फ and he was not bigger than himself. तांको ठारू से बड़ भी नथिला. So he mistook him as a boy of fourth form. Okay, and he just pulled him into the pool. कई कारण थिला से तांको बळिया माने तांको साइज रो पिला थिला. एक दुई नंबर ये भाबिले तो मो साइज रो पिला मोर तो बड़ न ये हम क्लास रो माने हम लेवल रो पिला हबो न कि मोर जूनियर हबो तो ये जाई कि ताको पेली देले. ये थिला 4 नंबर पैसेज. वर्तमान जीवा पहले 5 नंबर पैसेज एठी आसिला. आई हैव बीन फॉर्चुनेट टू सी ए गुड डील मोर ऑफ हिम. यूनिट नंबर 5. 5 नंबर यूनिट रो शेष जो आई हैड टू हैव बीन पेड 35 टाइम्स माय स्टैक. 5 नंबर यूनिट शेष यूनिट रो प्रश्न उत्तर पहले प्रश्न. सो एठी प्रथम प्रश्न कोन 3 इयर्स डिफरेंस इन एज इज नॉट सो इंपोर्टेंट एज इफ इट इज एट स्कूल. जो हमर जो 3 इयर्स एज थिला ए 3 इयर्स एज ता जते बेले डिफर करू नथिला. ओके तो सेते बेले हाउ डज द व्हाट राइटर प्रूव इट. ए जो कथा 3 इयर्स डिफरेंस इन एज नॉट सो इंपोर्टेंट एज इट इज एट स्कूल, हाउ डज द राइटर प्रूव इट. की भली से राइटर प्रूव करछंती. सो एट स्कूल एमरी वा 3 इयर्स सीनियर टू द राइटर. स्कूल रे कहला ये बाबू 3 वर्ष सीनियर थिले के एमरी. But afterwards you are the writer's cabinet colleagues for a good many years. So he says that. कारण आफ्टर ईयर रे ये बाबू तांकर सीनियर हे जेतली ये जेतले प्रधानमंत्री थिले से कैबिनेट रे कलीग थिले. तो वर्तमान से लाइक दिस ही हैज प्रूव्ड दैट जे स्कूल रे सीनियर थिला तार सीनियर मु आफ्टर ईयर्स रे हेतली. सो इट डजंट मैटर से समरे सीनियर जूनियर जिंस मैटर ही करे ना. क्वेश्चन नंबर 2, हाउ डिड द राइटर फेयर एट स्कूल. व्हाट डिड ही डू एग्जैक्टली. राइटर स्कूल रे केमती भलो थिले कोन प्रमाण अछि जे केमती भलो कोन भलो करथिले से नै बिले. सो द राइटर्स प्रोग्रेस वाज नॉट सैटिस्फैक्टरी एट स्कूल तांकर माने प्रोग्रेस सैटिस्फैक्टरी नथिला. स्टिल he was apparently in the lowest form and that he was able to get few prizes. He was just able to get a few prizes. He was apparently stagnated in the lowest form रे माने फिक्स हे के थिले. but still he had able to qualify like one exam was there, one preliminary exam for army was there, and another poem recitation competition jota बुझेला. poem recitation competition जोटी से मैक्लेस एंशिएंट रोम टाको माने 1200 लाइन टाको बिना दुई धारे बिना भूल रे से गाइतिले. तो ये दुईटा प्राइज से पाइतिले फिर भी. ओके नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, हाउ डिड ही विन अ प्राइज एट स्कूल. स्कूल रे केमती से प्राइज पाइतरे. हाउ डिड ही विन अ प्राइज एट स्कूल. सो ही won a prize open to the whole school for reciting to the headmaster 1200 lines of Macle's ancient Rome. बोइरो अछि सीधा ले जापनजो without making a single mistake, and he had qualified for the preliminary exam of army while stagnated in the lowest form. Next question, how did he prepare himself for the preliminary exams for the army. आर्मी पई जो प्रिलिमिनरी एग्जाम हला से केमिति प्रिपरेशन करथिले केमिति प्रिपेयर करथिले. सो इन बुक्स इट इज वेरी क्लियरली रिटन. सो एट द फाइनल प्रिपरेशन I drew out I put all the name of the maps in a hat. I drew out New Zealand, and in my examination I was very damn sure that the first question was drew a map on New Zealand. Like this I have been paid 35 of my stacks. This is written in a book, but I'm lekhiba kemti. So the night before final preparation, the night before final preparation, he put the names of all the maps in the atlas into a hat, drew out New Zealand, and he applied good memory to the geography of that dominion. तो से कौन कले न्यूजीलैंड को ड्रा करी कौन कले पूरा मेमोरी टा को अप्लाई कर देले, टोटल लान कर देले. तापरे से क्वेश्चन ही आस्तला ओके शेष प्रश्न देखिबा 5 नंबर पेज रो व्हाई डज ही कॉल हिज सक्सेस एन प्लेन बट जुआ इट्स ए काइंड ऑफ गैम्बलिंग बोली कि काहे कि तांकर सक्सेस ताको विंस्टन चर्चिल कहि चंती व्हाई डज ही कॉल्ड इट एन प्लेन काहे कि ताको एन प्लेन बोली कि कहि चंती so एठी यार प्रश्न अब द राइटर हैड एक्सपेक्टेड दैट देयर वुड बी a question in the examination to draw the map of New Zealand. He read that single answer and in the examination the first question was on New Zealand. So he called his success and plan. गोटे पर्टिकुलर प्रश्न गोटे पिला पढ़िला भाविला कि सियोर कि एटा ही पढ़िबो आउ सेटा ही पढ़िला आउ जेमति जुआरे लटरी करा जाय जेमति लटरी करा जाय सेवला लटरी करके जेहेतु करथिले सेति पई से जुआ बोली कि कहिसंती ये तिला तमरो ऑल प्रोबेबल पैसेज एंड देयर क्वेश्चन आंसर पिले वर्तमान तुम जदि कहबो बहिरा प्रश्न उत्तर आलोचना करिवि थिंक इट आउट प्रश्न उत्तर आलोचना करिवि नले क्लास को एठी बंद करिवा आई वांट सम आंसर क्वेश्चन कमेंट देखिवा कमेंट रे जदि पिला कहउचंती सर क्वेश्चन आंसर आलोचना करा जाउ ताले क्वेश्चन आंसर भी आलोचना कर थिंक इट आउट कोन कहउचो क्लास बंद करिवा ना बहिरे थिबा प्रश्न उत्तर आलोचना करिवा यू हैव 4 सेकंड बंद yes okay yes okay so let us go to the question answer session of the book unit 1 re does the writer like examination quote the line in support of your answer achi pratham prashna ko achi does the writer like examination quote the line in support of your answer achi the writer doesn't like examination ame kon kariba doesn't the writer doesn't like examination and the line itself explain that this examination were a great trial to me it also chilai okay question number 2 mention the subject that were dearest to the examiners Latin and mathematics yar uttar hobo Latin and mathematics were the dearest subject of examiner question number 3 which subject did the writer like the most history poetry and writing essays history poetry and writing essays are the favorite subject of Winston Churchill or you can say the writer next question what reason does the writer give for his not doing well in examination परीक्षा रे भलो न करिवा पई कोन रीजन से देइचंती एटा हबो द examiner said question on Latin and mathematics the subject the writer disliked the most that's why he did not do well in examination question number 5 what did the writer write in the answer book for the Latin paper answer पई से कोन लिखितिले the writer only wrote the name and wrote nothing except a single letter one and put bracket and inverted comma in the answer book for the Latin किछि नै at the full page रे ता ऊपर ता ना लिखले वो चिंता करी एक लिखले एक ऊपर ब्रैकेट देले आउ तापर किछि भी आसिला नै नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन what was the sad spectacle for him कोटा दुखद दृश्य कोटा थिला अथरंग पाई the sad spectacle for him was the stain on the Latin paper the stain the tear stain you can say stain or you can say blot and smudge ei word ta bahire ବ୍ୟବହାର ହେଇଛି blot and smudge so Latin paper had been made by drops of his tears he did write nothing in that examination next question what is the writer's position in the merit list for admission merit list re yanker position कोन थिला पिले the writer's position was the lowest in the merit list for admission was at the lowest next question देखिबा whom does he give the credit of his success in the entrance examination and why the writer gives all the credit of his passing into the examination to his headmaster and the reason was very good the writer gives the credit him as he was able to judge his hidden talent and declared him worthy to pass into Harrow and according to him the headmaster Dr. Weldon was not a man who believes in paper manifestation next question देखिबा what does he mean by I gain no more advantage from the alphabet than from the void sphere of letter या ऊपर ऑलरेडी जेहेतु मु पैसेज रे आलोचना करछि प्रश्न उत्तर आ कहू नाही then how did he become the last boy in the class परवर्ती प्रश्न how did he become the last boy in the class यार प्रश्न हबो at the two students below his name in the school list were discarded due to illness or some other reason he became the last boy in the class जेतले पढाइले next question what is the custom of calling the roll at Harrow आलोचना हे सारीची what is the custom of rolling the calling the roll at Eton आलोचना कर सारीचे why is last tuple why did people say so या ऊपर भी आलोचना कर सारीचे then unit 2 को जीवा पिले what kind of students were taught Latin and Greek at Harrow Latin and Greek कहा को पढ़ा उतरा the clever students were taught Latin and Greek at Harrow. Question, next question. Which students were taught only English? Kahaku English padhautla. The done students or the poor students were taught English at Harrow. Next, how does the writer rate English as a subject and Mr. Somerville as a teacher? According to the writer, English is a noble subject and Somerville was the best English teacher of the world. Next, Jiva, what part of the English grammar did he learn from Mr. Somerville? Ko part sabu sikhile. He learned analysis and synthesis of English from Mr. Somerville. Analysis and synthesis. Next question, dekhiva. How did he score over the clever school fellows in after years? After years, manangare, tangor classmate manangotaru ye kemti bhalo kale. He scored over the clever school fellows in after years by doing of his better standard in common English. Better standard in common English. The latter defended on common English for their livelihood, whereas the former felt at home in this respect. ଯେତେବେଳେ ୟାଙ୍କୁ ସବୁ ଆସୁଥିଲା ସେ ଯୋଉ ପିଲାମାନେ ଯୋଉମାନେ କ୍ଲେଭର ସୋ କଲ୍ କ୍ଲେଭର ଥିଲେ ସେମାନଙ୍କୁ ଆସୁନଥିଲା. ନେକ୍ସଟ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚନ. Why was he biased in favor of boys learning English? କାହିଁକି ସେ ପାର୍ସିଆଲିଟି କରୁଥିଲେ ମାନେ ଫେଭର ଥିଲେ ଯୋଉମାନେ ଇଂଲିଶ ପଢୁଥିଲେ ସେମାନଙ୍କ ଫେଭରରେ କାହିଁକି କଥା ହଉଥିଲେ? So he was biased in favor of boys learning English thoroughly because it was the key to their success in life. କାରଣ it was the key to their success in life. କାରଣ ଆଗରେ ବଞ୍ଚିବା ପାଇଁ ଚାକିରି କରିବା ପାଇଁ ଏଇଟାର ହିଁ ଆବଶ୍ୟକତା ଅଛି. ତ ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ ଯିବା ୟୁନିଟ୍ 3 ଶେଷ ୟୁନିଟ୍ କୁ ଯିବା ପିଲେ. ଶେଷ ୟୁନିଟ୍ ର କିଛି ପ୍ରଶ୍ନ think it out ତାପରେ କ୍ଲାସ ଶେଷ ହବ. So how did the boy enjoy their time at the swimming bath? Swimming bath ରେ କିଭଳି ଟାଇମ କାଟୁଥିଲେ ଏହା ଆମେ ଅଲରେଡି ଆଲୋଚନା କରିସାରିଛେ ପାସେଜ ଭିତରେ. ତାପରେ what kind of pranks did they enjoy at their bath? ଏହା ବି ଆମେ ପାସେଜ ଭିତରେ ଆଲୋଚନା କରିସାରିଛେ. Question number 3. How did the writer do to the boy standing in a meditative posture? এই প্রশ্ন भी passage ভিতরে আমি আলোচনা করে সারিছি. Then what was the reaction of the boy? এই প্রশ্নর উত্তর भी আমি passage ভিতরে আলোচনা করে সারিছি. What did the writer learn about Amari from the crowd of younger boys? ପିଲାମାନଙ୍କ ଠାରୁ Amari ବିଷୟରେ ଅଥର କଣ ଜାଣିବାକୁ ପାଇଲେ? এই ପ୍ରଶ୍ନ ଆମେ ଆଲୋଚନା କରି ନାହିଁ ତ এই ପ୍ରଶ୍ନ ଭିତରେ ମୁଁ କହୁଛି. So the writer learned from the crowd of younger boys that Emery was in the 6th form. प्रथम जिनस से सुनिले Emery was in the 6th form, whereas the writer was in the 4th form. And head of his house, he was also the head of the house, and he has his football colors, and he was champion. These are the things he came to know from the other boys. Next question. How did the writer apologize for his misconduct? Nijara bhul pai किमिति क्षमा मागिले. The writer apologized him in a state of nervousness for his misconduct. In a state of nervousness. Next question. Did the matter end happily for the writer? Did the matter end happily? माने matter टा माने घटना खुशी खुशी रे कटि गला कि? Yes, the matter ended happily for the writer. Emery's anger abated and he laughed and gave some general remarks about his cheek. He advised the writer to be careful in the future. भविष्य रे ए जिंस पई सतर्क होवा पई से किस धारणा देला तापरे द मैटर एंडेड हापीली. दिस वाज ऑल द क्वेश्चन आंसर. जदी ऑन एग्जाम स्टूर आसे एबोली कोनोसी प्रश्न नै जो प्रश्न हम स्किप कर देछि 110%. ए वीडियोटा देखिला परे ऑन एग्जामिनेशन पढिबार कोनोसी आवश्यकता नै. देयर इज नो नीड टू गो थ्रू द टेक्स्ट दैट मच. थैंक यू फॉर स्टेइंग विथ मास्टर इंग्लिश. जय जगन्नाथ. बाय बाय.